Are you aware of the difference of the altered state of consciousness versus the altered state of perception? Do you know what subperceptual is? If not, stay tuned. I'm Sincere Seven. I represent the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit as well as the House of Genesis. And in the background, they represent all of the what the that goes on here at the Psychonaut. But so y'all know me. A little cushion coffee with a cap, a little urban philosophy, a little teaching, a little inquiring, being a student. I go through some of everything. And today I just wanted to kick it real quick about some of the misconceptions that are in this community and dealing with certain substances. So first I'm gonna start off with and I don't plan on this being long, just so y'all know, I don't plan on being long. Subperceptual. When we speak on that, we're talking about microdoses. Okay. And so there's a lot of talks, around healing and around traumatic healing and around entheogenic healing and plant medicine and all of these different things. And of course, a lot of it has been had legality issues with it, and some still do in different places. Here in Detroit, Michigan, all of these things are decriminalized. So this is why National Geographic picked here to do the documentary where they basically showed me serving ayahuasca. They were able to do it in Detroit because of the legalities, and that's why they didn't go to other places, right? So some places are still dealing with legal issues when it comes to some of these entheogens and things like that. Some places are more free, but with that, there is, of course, a large amount of people who are just like hands off. Oh, it must be a drug. It must be illegal. It must be something to stay away from, which is understandable, right? However, with this new entheogenic explosion that started in 2020 and with the return of the entheogens to society as a whole, not just these circles and pockets of people that you have utilizing them. Now there's a lot more knowledge and education. It's a lot more understanding. And it's a lot more people that's interested. It's a lot more people that's talking about it. And what I have found is that when these conversations come up in certain circles, certain places, certain people kind of just shut them down and are like, nah, da 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 da, because of this. So now you have this thin line within our community where these things are either taught or talked about or taboo. And so you have a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to certain people. Okay. So with the microdosing, subperceptual, people will hear about it and they be like, nah, I ain't trying to be all high and I ain't trying to go through this and I ain't trying to go through that and I don't want to have to deal with this. And sometimes it's clear that their logic ceiling is more contracted, it's more shut down, and they're not understanding or even willing to accept the information to give them an educated background to what they're deciding to or not to do, right? And so I just want to make that clear that when we're talking about subperceptual, when we're talking about microdoses, this is the utilizing these substances without getting high, without getting activated in a consciousness change or a shift. And that's why I wanted to speak on the difference between an altered state of consciousness and an altered state of perception. See, this is things that I never hear spoken about in the entheogenic community, and I think it's very important. And when I do hear it spoken about, it's spoken about in a way that is like you're giving misunderstanding. That's not at all what's going on. They're not at that. That's not where they're at. And so it creates this hesitation for individuals who might have been interested or might be wanting to lean in and utilize psychedelics and or entheogens for healing, for PTSD, for traumas, for so many different things, right? So again, when we're talking about microdoses, we're talking about subperceptual. This means an amount that's low enough to where you don't actually, I don't want to say you don't feel anything, because that would be, I'm going to tell you, when I microdose, after about an hour and a half, damn. After about an hour and a half, I start yawning. And when I yawn and then I stretch, that's when I know it's kicking in. And that is pretty much all that I experience as far as, oh, I feel it. Okay. You kind of, so when I don't want to give the misconception like you don't feel it. A subperceptual state refers to experiences that occur below the threshold of consciousness. Okay, so that's what subperceptual is. It's a state that refers to experiences that occur below the threshold of consciousness awareness. In this state, stimuli or experiences subtly influence the mind and body without being overtly detectable. That's what I'm trying to say. Without being overtly, yeah, I know I'm knocking my shit down, y'all. Y'all see me, right? So that's what, okay, that's what that is. Without being overtly detectable. Like, so it's not, oh shit, you feel that? Oh my goodness, like you barely, it's subtle. So don't be afraid to lean into the microdosings, okay? These are in doses that are small enough to produce noticeable alterations in perception or consciousness, but still yield psychological, emotional, or cognitive changes. That's where the changes come in at. Your psychological, your emotions, your cognitive. All of these things change, and they change for the better. This is why you hear people say they take microdosing to deal with depression or anxiety or OCD and all of these different things. Okay? So, subperceptual. Microdoses, threshold, subperceptual. Now, let's go into altered states of consciousness versus altered states of perception. Subperceptual, and when you go above subperceptual, you go into altering the state of perception. An altered state of perception refers specifically to shifts in how sensory information is processed and interpreted, often leading to changes in visual, auditory, tactical, or proprioceptive experiences. Proprioceptive is like when you're looking at your hands and your fingers are doing weird stuff and moving, but they're really not, but they look like they are. That's what that means. So when we're dealing with an altered state of perception, okay, that's what we're dealing with. And too many times in this community have I heard people try to inject, or offer to people that altered states of perception is actually an altered state of consciousness. There's people who are given dosages of certain medicines that are simply altering the perception and having people think that they went on a altered state of consciousness. Like, okay, I talk to people who've done Bufo, right? And we get to talking about Bufo, right? The conversation come on, oh, Bufo, man, yeah, the Bufo, that's crazy, that's this, that's, oh, you done Bufo too, right? And you get to talking, he's like, yo, what was your experience like? And they get to telling you, and you kind of like, wait, what? So you was walking around, he was dancing, he was singing, and this, and like, wait, what? What kind of Bufo was it? It was from the toe, like organic. How much did you do? Oh, you're not sure. Somebody sprinkled it in a pipe or sprinkled it or mixed it with, and oh, okay, got you. You didn't go through altered state of consciousness Bufo experiences. You have experienced Bufo at a low enough amount that it gave you an altered state of perception. This is very, very important for psychonauts to understand the difference in. You want to know, because as a healer, as an individual who's been utilizing these in our community for 15 years plus, no, almost 20 years now, let me be very clear that when it comes to traumatic healing, when it comes to soul level healing, cellular healing, subperceptual, or excuse me, altered states of perceptual amounts is not going to do it. You're not going to heal that. See, I've had people say, oh, you said you healed your trauma. with the mushrooms. I took mushrooms like 4 or 5 times. I still got PTSD. How much did you take? First time I took a gram. A gram? Well, that was just the first time. Okay. Second time I took 2. And then I did 3. And then I did 3.5. And then we did another one with like 2.5 grams. And then I did a 4-gram trip. And I'm sitting there going, oh, well, that's why you haven't healed PTSD. You haven't went through altered states of consciousness experience yet. There is a lot of people who use mushrooms, are psychonauts, who have never went through an altered state of consciousness. They have simply went through an altered state of perception. Those are 2 different things, and I'm not knocking. Don't start with the bullshit. Oh, he think he better than everybody, because no. I think that I've experienced things more than other people, and we both can agree on that when we say, how much have you done? And then you ask me, how much have you done? And then it's like, how long you been doing this? And like, how long you been doing? Well, how many trips have you taken at this milligram? How many trips have you taken? When you look at that, that's it. I'm not better than you. I'm not smarter than you. I have a lot of experience. Okay. And in that experience, I have a lot of knowledge that came with that experience. Part of that knowledge is knowing when I was in an altered state of perception and when I went through an altered state of consciousness. And again, I just think that it's very important for those of us, whether you're just entering into the psychonaut realm or if you've been a psychonaut for years, to not only know and understand this, but know and understand how to explain this or offer this to another person. Because there's a lot of people offering people healing and different things, but then what they're giving them is not, it's not allowing them to get to where they. So let me give you this analogy that I talk about. We're going to talk about falling down, scraping your leg, a little bit of blood come out, you just wipe it off and it just heals, versus getting a heart transplant. Okay, if you fall down, you scratch your leg, up, little skin came off, man, like you might just wipe it off and just leave it. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just a little scratch, a little blood came out, the clotting is going to take place, it's going to heal it up. That's a microdose. That's a microdose. All right, you fell down and scratched your leg real deep and it's bleeding and running down the leg. All right, you go in, you wash it, you put some hydrogen peroxide on it, you put a little Neosporin on it, you put a Band-Aid on it. That's like a gram. You outside, you running, you jogging, you trip and fall. And there was dirt and shit all over the place and glass. And when you fell, it cut your leg. Okay? Oh shit, this is a deep cut, right? I gotta go home and put some dragon's blood on it, maybe even get a couple stitches. I can stitch it up myself if I have that intestinal fortitude, right? That's like a 3.5. You know what I'm saying? Even maybe even 5 grams. Like I can see the white meat. Like I definitely need stitches. That's 5 grams. Okay. I have a heart issue. This is that deep trauma, sexual issues, abuse, physical abuse, PTSD, all of this. I'm talking about I can't do anything. This is in the depths of my soul, of what happened to me in my life that affected me. I need a heart transplant. I need to get rid of this one that's broken and that's abused, and I need a new one. There's no way in fuck that I myself can cut my chest open, cut my heart, remove it, place the other heart in, sew those arteries and ventricles back to. I couldn't do that. I need to be put to sleep, altered state of consciousness, and be unaware of what's happening while this deep healing is taking place. That's 7 grams. That's 9 grams. That's 10 grams. See what I'm saying? This is where you go into an altered state of consciousness. Some people refer to it as an ego death. It's not an ego death. Your ego's not dying. Your consciousness has shifted into another state. So who you were is no longer important, needed, or even focused on or part of the story. That's an altered state of consciousness. As long as you are conscious of who you are, where you are, what you're doing, what's going on, your consciousness has never altered. Only your perception has. Tell me I'm wrong. Argue with me. Come on, talk to me. I talk back, talk a little shit. I talk that. See? So when people start talking about, you always talking about the amounts, like I'm trying to big dog deluxe. Oh, we take 7 grams. Y'all take 2 grams. Oh, we're better than you. I ain't never said we're better than you. We're addressing more shit than you. If you have a Greyhound bus and I have a Greyhound bus and you put $50 of gas in that Greyhound bus and I put $300 of gas in my Greyhound bus, and I say, hey, you know I'm going to be able to drive further than you. When in there did I say I was better than you? When did I say you was weak? When did I say you were scared? I don't know why the fuck you only put $50 of gas in a Greyhound bus. I don't know why. It's not my business, but I'm telling you I'm about to be able to go further than you. So if the state of healing increased upon the distance that we traveled, and I traveled further than you, then would I not be able to heal more than you? That's all I'm saying. When I be having these conversations sometimes in certain circles and I get the responses, I be feeling like people feeling like I'm trying to shame them or I'm trying to big dog deluxe them. I'm trying to sun them. Like, no, I'm not saying none of that. I'm just trying to get people to understand you'll be able to do more when you do more. There's a lot of mirror magic and shadow work that can be done with altered states of perception. But when you go into the altered states of consciousness, and we're dealing with full-blown neurogenesis, neuroplasticity, the actual creation of new crevices in the brain, the creation of new understandings and thought processes, these is where the healings come in at. The deep healings, those ones that we can't, that surgery type shit, we can't do that on ourselves. That takes an altered state of consciousness. And that's going in deep. So I'm not knocking the lower doses. They're all needed. That's like saying I'm knocking microdosing. Nah, microdosing is needed too, but it ain't finna heal no trauma. Right? Right? You know what I'm saying? It'll help you to tune in. It might even help you to discover the traumas. It'll help you to discover that I hate this fucking job. It'll help you to discover that, damn, I be angry too much. I be overdoing it. I be yelling at my kids. I be talking shit to my mate. I be a smart ass to everybody. I'm a jerk or whatever. Like microdosing will have you finding out shit about yourself, but it ain't gonna make you change it. It'll bring your awareness to. Because when you go in and you utilize these entheogens, you're saying, I volunteer to be shown. And the deeper you go, I volunteer to be changed. And the deeper you go, I volunteer to be altered and alchemized. And most of that comes in when you go through an altered state of consciousness, because you're able to then consciously live out and become aware of other consciousnesses. But then you have the ability to bring them back to this consciousness when you come back to your original consciousness. You brought those other conscious states with you, and that therefore alters this conscious state. Now, no longer giving me the ability to exercise violence. in a comfortable way. It's a very uncomfortable thing now, as it was before I was forced into it. The first time I practiced violence on somebody, it was uncomfortable to me. And then I was trained to become comfortable with it. And then I was trained to enjoy it. And when I started using these entheogens, it took me back to the original. See? So it took an altered state of consciousness to achieve that, though. The altered state of perceptions didn't do that. The altered state of perceptions gave me more, empathy, more connection to my community. This is why people love to come to the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit and sit with me one-on-one or a group on one when we are on the microdoses and maybe a couple grams or the tea or the cacao or whatever it is, and sometimes just a little cannabis and coffee, right? But it's because me tapping into these altered states of consciousness so much over the last 15 to 20 years brought back so many different consciousnesses. So now when I sit and talk with people, and those of you who have sat with these entheogens many times, when you sit and talk to people, you have a tendency to be able to match their consciousness a little bit more than the average person. I could be in a room with 4 different people and respond to each one of them in tune with their consciousness, because I've been in tune with so many consciousnesses and have brought them back. This is part of the gift. This is part of, like, it's just like going to a different, it's like going to Puerto Rico. If I go to Puerto Rico like every year for 3 months, within 2 or 3 years, I'm gonna be speaking some Spanish. If I go to Mexico, you know what I'm saying? Every weekend, once a month, every week, or every weekend for a year, or every 1 weekend every month for a year. Like you might go in on the mushrooms once a month, every month for a year. You're gonna come back speaking some Spanish at the, even though just a weekend. Every year. I mean every month. Damn, why I fuck with it? Every month, 1 weekend in Mexico for a year straight. You're gonna start speaking a little bit of Spanish. So imagine if you go in. Huh? The water? Yeah. What water? Oh, in the tub? I'll let it out later. Thank you for telling me. I forgot. Thank you. So if you go in to the interdimensional realms once a month, every month, for a year, you're going to come back speaking some interdimensional language. And I don't mean the light language, because I'm going to tell y'all, I feel some type of way about that. I've been gatekeeping for people for 10, 15 years, and probably 30% of them have come back with this light language. And I've been going in more than all of them, and I ain't never got access to the light language. I'm talking about, but, you know, it is what it is. Everybody gets something different. I mean, because everybody else can't travel back and forth in time, so I wouldn't trade that for the light language. I'll tell you that right now. So with that being said, I'm going to let them have that. But, so I don't mean the light language. I mean the interdimensional language of understanding, of wisdom, like everything that I do. When people read my bio, that bio is not based off I don't think that bio is based off my human design and my astrology. That is potentiated by the utilization repeatedly of the altered states of consciousness that I continue to go in. These medicines that I continue to use, the ayahuasca, the snake venom, the mushrooms, the cactus, the iboga, the cambo, oh my goodness, like just doing all of this repeatedly and going to these different dimensions and these different realms repeatedly, I'm bringing information back and using it in my life around me. And that's why I'm in the newspaper. That's why I'm on National Geographic. That's why I'm all over the place and doing it. That's why I invented the first THC infused wine to be sold commercially in America. That's what all of this shit, man, this shit come from me using these entheogens. I'm going into the interdimensional. I was in the trading post in the interdimensional realms, like where like it's like Eastern Market, it's like the fruit market where everybody's out there selling different things, and I'm seeing different fruits, and some of them got eyes. You ever seen a fruit with eyes? Yo, that shit's creepy. Interdimensional weapons and all type of shit. The amount of things accessible. Now those things were physical. So how to bring physical things from there to here, I haven't mastered that yet. So I go get information that I can bring back and utilize. I want to see, hey, stop playing with that door. I want to see their knowledge and their books and their science experiments and how they break things down that we have terrestrially. Some of their science experiments don't matter because they elements and things that they have on their planets is different. Like the periodic table of elements, that's terrestrial. On Jupiter, their periodic table of elements is totally different. So you got to know how to move through those realms and find the ways to get the information. Sometimes it's not about reading, it's about shrinking down into a microscopic size and exploring something like a root zone of a plant. Yeah, see what I did there? You know what I'm saying? So that's how I became one of the best growers of cannabis in Michigan. That wasn't because I studied. I mean, all of my studying and how I approach it, it is supreme. Like I am a mastermind, but the things that I did to achieve the organic state of grow that I took those plants through, that was going into the interdimensional realms, shrinking down in microscopic form and walking through my root zone and actually having the microbes and the biomes and the fungi walking up to me and sniffing on me and jumping on me like pets and shit. And they was beneficial bacteria. This is bacterias and fungi and microbials and shit. They was like, it was weird as hell. I don't know if y'all can visualize what I'm saying because none of these things look like please share this video. None of these things look like things that we have in the realm of size that we're in. They didn't look like tigers and cats and dogs and buffalo. They were that, like when we look under the microscope and you see microbes and bacteria and they be having flagellas and all of that. It was like that. They were microbes and it was the weirdest shit. But I got to see the environment they was in. And I got to understand how it's supposed to feel in there. What's the humidity level, the moisture level? What does the salt do when it's in there? The salt dries shit out, which stops the humidity level, which stops the ability for these things to thrive and grow and reproduce. So me walking around in their environment, when I came out, I changed the whole way I gardened. I no longer would pour any type of chelated salt, nutrient-based bullshit from the ghost stores. I went and started getting worm casting farms. I'm feeding worms. I got farms of worms, and I'm taking the species from these worms that's filled with bacteria and fungi and not fungi, bacteria and beneficial microbials, and I'm adding that to the water, and I'm feeding it a little bit of sugar, and I'm bubbling it. And it's starting to increase because it's giving them the life that they thrive in. And then I'm putting that into the root zone. Now all this microbial life that was in that tea is going in the root zone. And now it's giving the root zone everything. Leave those doors alone. Everything that the plant needs to thrive. We've been trying to feed the plant. You don't feed the plant. You feed the microbial biome in the root zone, and it will feed the plant. I know this now because I went there. No other growers know this because they don't teach this. Where else you gonna get this information? There is very few. Those people who follow what's called TLO, True Living Organics. You're creating an organic root zone. That's what I'm taking care of. The plant is the company of that root zone, and it cares for itself. The root zone cares for it. I'm caring for the root zone. When I'm finished with my cannabis and I take the plant and I cut it and I hang that plant upside down, any other grower that you know, guaranteed, when you cut that root zone in half and open it up, you're going to see roots, you're going to see salt, and you're going to see just dead. When you cut mine and open it up, you're going to see worms crawling around. It's a literal life force, and it's still alive. Still alive. I take the root zone out and put a clone right in there. And just add some more of that living soil. How did I learn all this? By going in a microscopic form and walking around in the root zone. That's what altered states of consciousness do. You're not going to do that in an altered state of perception. I'm not knocking low doses. I'm just saying, if you really want to achieve some high magic, if you really want to achieve some interdimensional travel, if you really want to achieve some healing, you need to go where you don't have control of things. You have control of things in states of altered states of perception. Things just perceive. The way you perceive them is different. Oh, wow. Oh, shit. This is crazy. Yeah, it is. But is it actually healing? Mirror magic and shadow work can be done. So yes, some minor healing. Like I said, it's the era of stitches. It's where you can stitch things up. You know what I'm saying? You can alter things. You can change things. But that deep, 7 grams or more, baby. Come on, work with me. Every single one of my clients, anybody who's ever done any mushrooms with me, including my children, start off at 7 grams. Let me be very clear. When my son said he wanted to study and be a medicine man and was going through his training and all that, his first was 7. Everybody, I know, oh, were you younger and you did, what you mean? No, we're going to change the consciousness. There's nothing to be scared of. There's nothing unsafe. This is where you go to really, really remove the veil and see the secrets. And this is where you go to receive your spiritual security clearance. You can't receive spiritual security clearance in altered states of perception. That's another thing. A lot of people are trying to receive these gifts, these abilities, these relics, you know what I'm saying? All of these things. This is for the people who are going into altered states of consciousness. You don't need no Yiming's you for protection and you're going through altered state perception. All you're doing is perceiving things different. Oh, that look different than it really is. Oh, interesting. You don't need a protection from that. The protection come in when you start going in altered states of consciousness, and you go, why? Because you in other states, you in other dimensions, you in other realms. And the deeper you go in these works and the higher you go in these amounts, then the further you go until you start to actually touch down and you start to actually be there and move around in other dimensions. And when I'm saying that, I'm saying, yes, these other entities can make contact. Yes, one of them can slap the shit out of you, and yes, you will feel it. This is why Baba Kalinde taught martial arts. Because if you're going to go into these realms, which they did, you need to know how to defend yourself in these realms, which they did. You know what I'm saying? And when I got my transdimensional quartz crystal and went in on 16 for the first time, I found out what they was talking about. When I did Bufo, I felt like I was being scanned. Do you know what this is? You were. Anytime, listen, I said it, spiritual security clearance. I'm not bullshitting when I'm saying what I'm saying. So imagine any type of security clearances that you have to get, what you have to go through to get them. And if you, some of y'all might not have ever gotten security clearance, so you don't know. But yeah, they're gonna scan you. Yeah, they checking you out. Yeah, brethren, they was checking you out internally and externally. Hell yeah. They was seeing what was going on. They read your entire file. They watched your entire life. It's kind of like watching your life on TV. Oh, wait, rewind that. Oh, okay, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? The state of consciousness that they have, they can watch the shit on fast forward. Like it's like an instant download. It's like ChatGPT when you download a video you did and it instantly upload. It's like that. So they scanning you, they reading you, right? And they seeing what you need, what you can utilize, what your journey is. It put up your entire chart, your entire existence. It put up your soul and where your soul is at in its journey, and it pulled up your spirit, which is attached to your physical. Your soul goes before this life and it'll be here after this life. Your spirit is attached to the character in this life. So your spirit is one spiritual existence that you are experiencing and living, and your spiritual journey is to link that with the soul's journey, in case y'all didn't know that. That's what the spiritual journey is about, is trying to link the spirit with the soul. So when they scanning you, they're seeing where you're at with your soul journey and with your spiritual journey, and like all of this, because this is how they know what to give you, what to gift you. Oh, okay, what's his mission while he's in this life right here? Okay, what's his mission from the cellular level of why he's or she or whatever is doing? Okay, cool. So on a soul level, they need to get to this, but while they're in this existence, they need to learn and deal with this. Okay, well, shit. Give them a Yimiju and lead them to the they need some cleansing. Lead them to the frog. Lead them to the Cambo. Lead them to the Cambo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, lead them to the Cambo. Boom. Damn. All right, boom. There's your now you hey. Nicely. Y'all starting to sound real aggressive to each other. So now, so when I was moving forward, boom, I started to do cannabis. The cannabis took me to the mushrooms. Mushrooms led me to the Cambo. The Cambo gave me such a detox that it was so like it was something that it was realizational, like, yo, that was there for 20 years and that's gone. Like, yo, this shit is something real. And the investigative martyr in me, boom, sent me right into the works. Everything gave me exactly what I needed to go and get on the journey. The journey had everything set up for me, but they had to leave breadcrumbs. What's your breadcrumbs? Are you following them? Are you paying attention? Are you listening? Where I got most of my information from was going through altered states of consciousness. For me, altered states of perception is fun. I guess I'm assuming. I don't know. I've not done 3.5 grams. Never ever have I been like, oh, let me take 3.5 grams. Never. I started off with 7, and I've been doing 7 and more for most of the time. And anything under that was like we doing tea ceremonies, or I'm doing a high microdose. I might do 3 microdoses and go out on a nature walk or whatever. But those in between realms, you know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Okay, baby. Okay. So I'm not knocking them. And there's people who master in those levels. And when people want to deal with those levels of work, I send them to those people. You know what I'm saying? Like the community I got, we ain't in competition. We collaborate. I finally found my people. It's cool to be a condor. I try to collaborate so much in my community and ended up in a whole bunch of like, you know what? Let me just get away from this. And so I don't even really deal with the psychedelics a whole lot. Now I find my pride and my honor in healing. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know we still get it popping over here. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they was working on me. I ain't never cried like that in my life. They was working on you. They was. Because to carry these gifts, these abilities, these tools, there needs to be a certain character. There needs to be a certain integrity. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, listen, when they scanned you, whatever they gave you, man, this is light work. They just trying to see what you gonna do with this. Whatever they gonna bless you with, whatever you start to be able to do, whether it be dream walking, whether it be telling the future, whether it be, you know what I'm saying, sending your consciousness to other places, whatever, I don't know. When you find out, let me know. But look, whatever it is, man, that's just the intro. I'm gonna give you the secret. They just testing you. All right, we did some work on him. You know what I'm saying? We gonna bless him. What's he gonna do with himself? Are you gonna work on yourself? Are you gonna improve yourself? Are you gonna change yourself? Are you gonna clean yourself up? because a lot of people walk around with excuses. Well, let me just tell you, as an individual of high integrity, we don't do that over here. We don't make excuses. We get to it. We acknowledge where we fuck up at. We strive for perfection. That whole ain't nobody perfect bullshit, show and prove that. Show and prove that they wrong. And if you strive for this, they're going to continue to bless you with more. And I'm not very aware of them, what I would say, blessing you financially. Like, but what they do is they bless you with the ability to become financially independent and then financially successful. But it's all rooted in the works. It's the works. That's what you're here to do. A lot of people are looking for blessings to come to them. Nah, you are to get the ability to bring about blessings. That's the secret. It's still got to be worked. You still got to manifest it. You still got to do it. Set your intentions and manifest them. I am intentions and manifestations. You are what you intend and what you do. I have a real itch for people who tell me that they're doing things, but they don't want to do them. I be sitting there like, what you talking about? You have the power, your intentions, and you manifest them. Oh man, I'm turning state's evidence. I have to, man. I don't want to. What? Hey, no. You have the intentions and you about to manifest them. And you can take that scenario and put it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So we have that. And when it comes to even manifesting this magic, these powerful things, these things that we want to bring about, go into those realms and lay down the works, lay down the mindsets, lay down the actual processes. Understand that your works in those realms counts here. You get credit for that here. You can manifest what, like how we talk about, I spoke on this the other day when I was talking about Changa. Changa, mushrooms, sex magic. All of these are realms for manifesting. You know what I'm saying? For manifesting. People like talking about that sex magic. A lot of people talk about it, ain't really approaching it with the true intent. You just having sex, and when you have an orgasm, you know, placing these thoughts, and man, that's your sex magic is a lot more intricate than that, you know. But because the more you charge it up, that's the whole point, is you're charging this shit. It should be almost an all-day thing. You know, tomorrow, that's what we doing. We charging up from the time we wake up until that night, and then that's where we achieve the grand closing and the grand opening. You know what I'm saying? So these realms, the sexual realm, the orgasmic realm, to be specific, the orgasmic realm, using Changa and using mushrooms, you can implement these thoughts. You can plant them in those realms and manifest them in these realms. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, you don't need to look for something above you for financial blessings and all of these things. You manifest them yourself. You get them yourself, whether it's doing the works or whether it's using your magic in the manifestation. And if your powerful manifestation is strong, you know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to come in and just clear that up. You know what I'm saying? The difference between subperceptual, altered states of perception, and altered states of consciousness. What can be achieved in these altered states of consciousnesses versus the altered states of perception. It is a difference. It is a difference. Scientifically, chemically, within the consciousness, within the spirit, all of that. You know what I'm saying? You wanna, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's not a knock if you don't. For those who like, I'm good at 3 grams, that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't need to go deep. Some people are not, you know what I'm saying? Like, their mission and what they're here to do, that's not necessary. That's why I be saying it ain't nothing about no judgment about where you go or what you do. It's just for those who are trying to achieve some grand things, are trying to achieve receiving the gifts and the abilities and unlocking the hidden magic within. I invite you to jump off into the 7 gram plus realm. That's where all of these things are more likely to be revealed to you. There we go. There we go. Gotta watch out. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to offend none of the, I mean, none of the low dosers. I'm an asshole. No, but I mean that though. I do mean that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to offend none of the low dosers. I don't, because all these things are necessary. You know what I'm saying? And there is a lot of things that can take place in those low dose realms. So I'm not saying that healing can't. I just want to be very clear. It's just a lot different. The approach is a lot different, and what you'll actually be able to access is a lot different because you're still in your consciousness. So we can't go as deep as we could. And that's why I gave the analogy of the cutting of the leg into the heart surgery. So let me go and see if we got any questions, comments, concerns. Like I said, it don't always show up on my screen. So let me see if anybody, because I always get off. Okay. Okay, Go Go's Corner said the interaction with the babies is so sweet. Oh, thank you. Thank my heart. All of this love. I'm already doing those things, and sometimes I've absolutely had to fight. Okay, I've witnessed peace to the God. Oh, peace, 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 Queen. Peace, beloved. Peace, Woodstone. Nah, you just know, Mashe. I love this teaching right here. Thank you. I'm honored. You know what I'm saying? I'm honored, man. Hey, man, y'all dope. You're very articulate. Thank you. I used to have to fight because of that. And my father, um, like at a young age, because I was in Colorado Springs, I was a military brat. So I spoke very eloquently. And at 11 years old, leaving Colorado and coming back to Detroit and, going out in the streets, oh man, it did not help me with my socialization. Okay. And so, yeah, I had to show people that intelligence does not mean weak. So now to be an adult and to be appreciated for it, things turned around. So thank you for that. Appreciate that. So we ain't got no questions, comments, concerns, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to come in and kick it about that, you know what I'm saying? Just offer that to people for a further understanding of, what they're doing when they're utilizing certain plant, animal, fungi, mineral medicines. The dosages definitely matter. Some things you can't or should not go in deep on or high dose on. I had an individual that was introduced to Iboga, and they came to me and was like, "Yo, if I can get like a half of Iboga," I was like, "Yeah, yeah, for me." And so they came over, and so I gave him a half a gram. He was like, "What's this?" I was like, "It's a half." He was like, "No, I mean a half ounce." I was like, "A half ounce?" He was like, "Yeah." I was like, "You want 14 grams of Iboga? Like, you're not a medicine man. What you need 14 grams of Iboga for?" He said, "I'm gonna do a high gram dose." I said, "You about to do a high gram dose?" He said, "Yeah, like how we do high gram doses of mushrooms. You know what I'm saying? Because I did like 14, 15 grams of mushrooms, so I'm gonna do 15 grams of Iboga." I said, "Do you know that with Iboga, like you'll die?" Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, "Man, like, yo, but I went through the ego death on mushrooms." So I said, No. No, I mean you'll die. No, listen, no, you'll die. You'll eat it and you'll die, and then you'll be put in a box inside of some clothes, and your family gonna stand around and they gonna eat chicken that's shaped like this afterward, because you dead physically. He's like, "Really? Yeah, you ain't know that? No, stop it. Stop experimenting with shit. Everything ain't meant to, like, That's what I meant. This entheogenic explosion. It had a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people trying shit, just doing shit, just offering shit, telling people stuff, having people doing things. They think that these people been years in this, and so they follow them, and they should not be doing this, and they didn't know because I ain't did it yet. I want to see what happened when you did. So let's know what we dealing with and the levels that should be within those, right? Dealt with within what we dealing with. But with these mushrooms, nah, baby. Nah, baby. Start off with 7 and work your way up. And work your way up. And like Baba Kalinde said, coconut milk. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay. He said the real action started 20. And I didn't understand until I took that 16 with the transdimensional. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you start touching down in other dimensions. And that's what I'm trying to say, y'all, is the more you take, the further you go. It changes what you experience. It's not like you in there like, oh, even more. No, like that is traveling. Like if you watch Doctor Strange, you going through it, like all that. That's part of the travel. So why you can't die with mushrooms? So no, you would have to eat your body weight. Like you would die from eating the weight of mushrooms because your body, your stomach would explode, type of shit, before you die from the actual mushrooms. So nah, you can't die from, you know what I'm saying? Eating, you would have to eat like pounds and pounds. You know what I'm saying? So it would be an issue from you just eating that than it would anything else. But I imagine at that point you would be so far traveled, you're not worried about it. You know what I'm saying? Things would be peaceful.
That's you, Babe.
That's me?
Yeah, that's me.
That's you? Yeah, that's you, and that's me. So nah, you good. You ain't gonna die from eating no mushrooms. Not no psilocybin. Let me be clear. I'm speaking about psilocybin cubensis. This is what I'm talking about right now. All right, let me be very clear. So what we know is psychedelics. You know what I'm saying? Because
No.
I don't know what might happen if you eat like an ounce of them. Or what are they called? Stop. No, don't come here with the plan. Arenzes, azarenzes. If you eat an ounce of them, I don't know. I don't know. They go in your room. Get out of here. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I would not eating an ounce of psilocybin. Go ahead, do your thing. I would not advise anybody to eat an ounce of them azarenzes. I don't think nobody's brave enough to do that. And that's not a challenge. Because we got all types of challenges on the internet. Don't let me start no dumbass challenge. That is not a challenge. You know what I'm saying? But no, the psilocybin, go ahead and get it popping. You can get comfortable with it. You can peace, sincere. Peace, Landa. Okay. Peace. You can get comfortable with the mushrooms. You can go in. And the deeper you go, you know what I'm saying? The deeper you go, the more you take, the deeper you go. And this is where your gifts, your abilities, your powers, this is where all that shit starts to get released. This is where you start to do what we be talking about, these genetic upgrades within ourselves. Because like he said, they get scanning you. Yo, you can't come through here like this. We got to get you this. Yo, you got to have this to come through here. You got to go through this. And the more you of a security clearance you get, the more access you get. You know what I'm saying? I was on your website the past week and I was having some trouble. Yes, the Psychonaut Academy of Detroit is changing its website from experience-based to education. We are relaunching as the Academy, full-fledged. We're training practitioners as alternative healthcares with the Healing Through the Kingdoms. We're training shamans and medicine men and individuals who want to serve and administer and facilitate entheogens, ayahuasca, cactus, San Pedro, mushrooms, bufo, we got a wide, extensive lineup of teachers and trainers. We are hitting another level. I am so excited about what's coming. So yes, The website is down right now, but houseofgenesis.org is still up, still operational, and you want to hop on that email list. Houseofgenesis.org. Thank you for asking. So yes, y'all, the difference in altered state of perception and altered state of consciousness is important. It's important. Especially if you know what you're trying to achieve, where you're trying to go, and what you're trying to achieve. Mhm. So, do we have any other questions, comments, and concerns before I got up out of here? You know what I'm saying? Um, okay. All right. All right, cool. Peace, beloved. I was put onto you and your work last night. The mother facilitator put a post of yours on the tribe's thread, and I instantly followed you. We'll be in touch. Okay, okay. The mother facilitator. Peace, Tom. I love you, bro. The mother facilitator. That's very interesting. I would definitely like to know who that is. Am I done? Yeah, I'm done. You want me to be done? No, you don't press stop. How you gonna try to press my button? You want to say peace to the peoples? Peace. All right. Tell them to tell somebody that they love them in a language they can understand it in. You okay? I love you. Is that all right? You tell somebody that they love them in a language they can understand it in. I love them. Okay. They love y'all. Peace. Tell somebody you love them in a language that they can understand it in. Peace. Yeah. You done. Yeah, I'm done, baby. Y'all ready? Yeah. Okay. We'll be quiet.